Hey guys, welcome to my first Power Rangers Dino Charge vlog. My first Dino Charge vlog is going to be on the season premiere episode of Powers from the Past. You know, this is the first time in Power Rangers' instance I have ever seen a season premiere episode where, you know, it was all non-original footage. This is something unique for Power Rangers, something I never saw before. I really like the way how the season opened up differently from all the other season premiere episodes of Power Rangers I know and like or despise in some ways. But Dino Charge's opening is very unique. Now, what are my thoughts exactly before Dino Charge? To be honest though, for the last in my opinion, 6 years of Power Rangers, I mean, from Operation Overdrive to Jungle Fury to RPM to Samurai, Super Samurai Megaforce, Super Megaforce, I think Dino Charge pretty much beat those Power Rangers out of the water. Now, in regards to RPM, I understand you guys love RPM to death as all hell. I don't care what, I mean, I just really don't care about RPM. Now, Samurai is a different story, because to be honest though, Samurai, I extremely, utterly, still to this day despise that season after 4 years. Then, well, I personally defend Megaforce for some of the things it did despite its flaws. Super Megaforce, I know, was very problematic, and I know you guys can say it's still the worst. Now, Megaforce is the worst Power Ranger season other than Operation Overdrive was, and Overdrive is somehow forgivable now. Whereas Megaforce is now crowned as the next worst season of Power Rangers. Now, what does Dino Charge has in store? Now, Dino Charge is pretty much going to be considered the savior of the Neo Saban era, as I can see it from my eyes now. Because after, we know the last 4 seasons of Power Rangers were utter crap. And I expect Dino Charge to do better. Somewhat. Although I didn't have any problems with Megaforce aside from some of the few problems during the Super season about the, unused Sentai suits and the Legend War being shortchanged for just only a minute. I get it. And the way how they rushed the season and not giving enough about the story of Megaforce and its characters other than being action all around just so we can get to that big spectacle that ended up being 2 years of wasted potential. That we wanted to see, which after all that hype for the Legend War, Dino Charge didn't even, I think from Power Morphicon, well, when we had Power Morphicon 4 last year, there was some hype of Dino Charge. I mean, everybody was anticipating and hoping that it would be the savior in the Neo Saban era. Well, guess what? It saved the Neo Saban era. But we're going to see as Dino Charge goes on, we just hope, and I just hope Dino Charge doesn't slip. Let me talk about some of the characters in Dino Charge and talk about some of the best things about the season premiere episode, Powers from the Past. Now, to be honest though, the villain of Sledge, I really, at first, it dawned on me about his design, and I didn't think Sledge was, well, despite him being completely 100% original, instead of them using the main villain of Q Ryuger, who is that, I think that Sledge works well than his Q Ryuger main villain counterpart, because he was, although I never seen much of Q Ryuger, but I'm going to see specks of it as I'm exposed by that Q Ryuger footage while Power Rangers Dino Charge and Dino Supercharge goes on, and I'm going to see if this is better than Q Ryuger. Now, I know a lot of you probably right now are probably saying Q Ryuger is better than Dino Charge for those that are mostly into Super Sentai than Power Rangers. Actually, I'm going to say that Dino Charge is probably going to be better than Q Ryuger, since I never really saw Q Ryuger, but if only if I saw all the 50 episodes other than the Q Ryuger versus Go Buster film, I would be more happy to see more Q Ryuger. And then you also have other villains like Fury, who is pretty much going to be the main badass villain of Dino Charge, as he's going to go on as the as Sledge sends him to find the Ender Gems, and we have another side villain who is Wretch. And you know what was so surprising when I first saw Wretch and heard his voice? His voice sounds very reminiscent to Babu from Mighty Morphin. Because when I think about Wretch, he does sound like Babu from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, or either that, or they must have hired the same voice actor. I'm not sure if that voice actor who did the voice of Babu during MMPR is still around and came back and did the voice of Wretch. You know, that Kyryuger villain who was always such a whiny crybaby and such. Yeah, so I was hoping they were going to bring him. I thought they were not going to bring that character because, to be honest, though, after watching his counterpart in Kyryuger, I was like, I can't get into this character. And I'm so glad they didn't bring that midget green Pokemon-like monster character from Kyryuger and Power Rangers because it wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit the concept and theme of what Dino Charge is going for with its originality. Now, in terms of female villains, Poisandra, who is Sledge's fiance, I quickly somehow fell in love with Poisandra, and I like her taste of singing, and I also think the whole Poisandra and Sledge thing is probably like the Neo Saban version of Rita and Zed all over, and I think that is real original of what Judd Lin, who, by the way, thank God Judd Lin is back writing Power Rangers, thank God. And you know, Poisandra, I think I'm really starting to like Poisandra, unlike past female villains of Power Rangers, after you know who, and where for the last decade up to from Viper all the way to Princess Elvira, where, because to be honest though, the past 15 female villains in Power Rangers that we had since Lightspeed Rescue all the way to Super Mega Force sucked. I think, well, except for Camille and Necroli from the Disney era, who I will defend from, Mystic Force and Jungle Fury. But Poisandra, I just hope to see how she turns out as a villain, and I hope she does something to, other than having so much of that lovey-dovey stuff with Sledge, as she as she wants to defeat the Power Rangers along with Sledge and Fury. I just would love to see how she turns out. And I feel that Poisandra, the way how the tone of her character is like, it seems like they want to do her character exactly, almost reminiscent to Nadira from Power Rangers Time Force, because look at Nadira, she barely did some evil, but somehow that all the way went dropped, and you know how that turned out. Then we are introduced to the character of Keeper, who is one of those, when I first saw the Keeper character, he was like Larigo 2.0 as soon as I saw him, but at least he's nothing like Larigo, because to be honest, the Larigo in Turbo, he was a pointless character. I just could not get into him. Now, the Keeper, I would love to see more about him as we go through his premise. And then also the Energems. First we had those Dino Gems and Dino Thunder, now Energems. Now, please, people, try not to compare Dino Charge with Dino Thunder. I know the two shows have the same word, the word Dino in the title, but the titles are changed with the last word. Like Thunder in Disney, Charge in Neo Saban, so try not to. I like the CGI in Dino Charge, and as we go through it, we're going to have a whole bunch of spectacle CGI filledness in this season than we did in previous Power Ranger seasons. Not just Samurai and Megaforce with its CGI effects, other seasons too. Starting with Wild Force all the way to RPM with its CGI effects. But Dino Charge, I hope they advance the CGI more better. I also like the CGI effects on those dinosaurs that Sledge came upon and summoned to give the power of the Energems to each of the dinosaurs that would become the Rangers' respective dinosaurs in the distant present. And also Fury also wants the Energems because Sledge ordered him to get the Energems. That's pretty much one of those points of his character that as we go through him. And I expect, if I'm making any sense here, I expect this storyline to, reach up to its point until when we get to, hiatus, and then when it returns for another batch of episodes, and then when we get the super season, I hope the storyline continues to go on when we get to those next 5 missing Rangers, with the current 5 already present right now. Now, about the Rangers themselves. I'm going to start with the Red Ranger, Tyler. I actually like Tyler this time. I just had a quick early impression on his character, and I think what they're doing with Tyler is something entirely original or somewhat based with like his Kyoryuger counterpart Daigo, who has also been looking for his father as well, I think. Or that's only here in Power Rangers, because I think the whole plot about about a Power Ranger looking for his or her, looking for his missing father or missing brother. We never had. I don't think we had this kind of story before, but this is the first time in an instance that we finally have some sense of character development in a Neo Saban season. Unlike in Samurai and Megaforce, where the characters, we know much of the characters, but as we watch them, they are badly acted in some fashion. At least Dino Charge is doing something right than what the previous 4 years did. And don't say Samurai had character development, because honest though, Samurai's character development fucking sucked. The characters, every single character in Samurai was not relatable to me. And also with the childlike nature, like Daigo was in Kyoryuger, I really like that bit about transcending Tyler to be like Daigo, Kyoryu Red, yeah. Now, Shelby. Now, I've been waiting to hold on to my opinion for a couple of videos about, if you recall from at the end of my podcast of my top 5 best and worst Pink Rangers, when I said that I would hold on to my opinion on Shelby, but guess what? I'm going to use express my opinion on Shelby right now. I really like Shelby because she is really, like according to her information, her bio, but, when I get interrupted, I lose track. Anyway, about Shelby, I think she is going to be a good Pink Ranger because, the last 2 Pink Rangers, I stated back, even back in my worst Pink Rangers video, best and worst Pink Rangers video, that Mia and Emma were the worst Pink Rangers of the Neo Saban era, and they were clueless and pointless, excuses to be Pink Rangers. But I think Shelby works more well-defined here than what those other 2 Pink Rangers did in the last 4 years. At first I didn't think Shelby was going to be that good of a Pink Ranger because maybe it was because of the actress that they chose for her. Based on from the Power Morphicon reveal, that at first I thought they were going to get another Asian Pink Ranger, but it turned out to being a black chick as a Pink Ranger. At first I didn't like it at first because of the whole, for the first time ever having a black chick to be a Pink Ranger. This is something new and different for, the show to do, because we've had enough. We already know that we had more Caucasians and Asian, female Pink Rangers in the show, and never was a black chick to be the Pink Ranger. And it seems like come to this distant instance that we would have a Pink Ranger here that would be people my race, my color. And I also like where Dino Charge is setting up for its Red and Pink Rangers this season, that Tyler and Shelby are going to be in a relationship, and I think that's going to work just fine, just like how they did in Kyoryuger with the Red and Pink Rangers there. We are introduced to a few characters quickly until I'm going to talk about a few characters quickly before I get to the main portion of the episode. Coda is the caveman, and that finally came to fruition as shown on the show, with him being a caveman. And the first time, when I first heard of Coda, I didn't think we would have a Power Ranger that would be a caveman, and that would be pretty odd and weird. But we'll go with that. The Black Ranger, Chase, being, and also the first time instance that we would ever have an actor in the show who is entirely New Zealand to play a Power Ranger that is of New Zealand descent, and that's something new in an instance for the show. Whereas, we know in the Disney era, we had a few actors that were a mix of, American actors with actors in New Zealand, but this time, well, at least we have it here in Neo Saban with Dino Charge with a few American actors and one New Zealander, or we'll end up later on whoever these 5 new auxiliary Dino Charge Rangers will be. One of them will also be a New Zealander as well, or some other Outlander somewhere. Kendall, I really like her character. I think that Claire Blackweller is, I have to admit that she looks very pretty in the role, and especially with the glasses on, and also her last name Well, I'll discuss that when I discuss a Pacific Ranger in a podcast, and also discuss Kendall in some degree with that later. Riley does not appear in this season premiere episode. He doesn't appear until the next episode, which I will discuss later Friday, leading to this week's new episode on Saturday afternoon. Now about the Rangers, about Tyler and Shelby getting the red and pink Energems, and also when they get the Dino Charge Morpher, and when they encounter the monster of the episode, the Ice Age monster. Now this is something entirely original that, I feel that what Judd Lynn, or Chip Lynn as he's credited here, is doing with Dino Charge. It feels to me that Dino Charge is going to be like my Power Rangers RPM of the Neo Saban era, but it's a dinosaur-themed season, not like what RPM was being that post-apocalyptic end-of-the-world type season of Power Rangers. But it feels to me that Dino Charge is starting to be like RPM, but at least I'll try to accept Dino Charge, accept Dino Charge for what it is, unlike how I was with RPM, because, be honest though, like I stated, every video when I bring up RPM, when I'm talking about what seasons of Power Rangers I like and what I hate, I always gotta come up here and say I hate RPM, and then everybody's like phoning me out because of what I keep saying about RPM is bad, and knowing that people should tell me I should watch RPM and it's the best season ever. I said I don't care. I don't care about RPM. But at least Dino Charge is, well, to me it seems like Judd Lynn is doing Dino Charge like RPM. Because RPM had more originality than Sentai-based stuff. Dino Charge is probably going to do the same thing, but at least they're doing Kyoryuger right here for Power Rangers. And the Ice Age monster, from when I first saw his, when I first saw him in the episode, he was a good monster to start off, and he looked. Well, although they had to extend his use in the show for these first 2 episodes, whereas in Kyoryuger he only lasted for 1 episode, or I think it was 2 in Kyoryuger, just like here. And what's so different about the morph, and also when I discuss the morph sequence in the next episode, I'm going to tell you what I like about the morph sequence and what I may not like about the morph sequence in Dino Charge. And also the Ranger suits. I should take back everything I said about the Kyoryuger suits, just like what I did with the Go Kiger suits, that will later be used in Super Mega Force. Because as much as I didn't like the Go Kiger suits at first, until all of a sudden I like them, Kyoryuger took me some time to get used to their suits, and thought, well, their costumes were actually, they looked very simplistic for me. And I feel that the Kyoryuger costumes in Dino Charge are actually good Ranger suits. Though I should take back everything I said about the Dino Charge, the Kyoryuger outfits, because I did not like the design at first, but I did like the helmet design, but I just did not like the suit design at first. Now all of a sudden I like it. Well, when you bring these suits to Power Rangers, now all of a sudden I like it, because you see, I'm at this, ever since a certain Power Ranger season that I like or don't like, I would always, after that particular season, I'm not going to mention it, that when we enter the new millennium and we had certain seasons where there are some Ranger teams I may not like and may like, some of their suits and Zords may not appeal me because of the way how they look. So, although Tyler and Shelby, when they first became the Dino Charge Rangers, they didn't really do much fighting. They did some fighting, but as soon as when the T-Rex Zord, which is Tyler's, is a Zord. Now, to be honest though, when I look at the T-Rex in CGI in the episode, in the original footage, since this whole entire season premiere episode is 100% original footage and not Sentai, the T-Rex, the way how they animated the T-Rex in the original American Dino Charge footage, it looked like they made, it's like they animated the T-Rex like he came straight out of a, Power Rangers toy commercial. Because why do you think a few Power Ranger toy commercials used some CGI? If I don't think. Actually, yeah, they did. And it seems like when you look at that T-Rex, he looks like he came straight out of a toy commercial that used CGI effects, CGI robots, CGI characters. I mean, that is like, you know, why couldn't you just make a more simplistic, you know, Sentai accurate Sentai accurate version of the T-Rex for the show. I mean, I mean, having a toy commercial like CGI version of the T-Rex, you know, from the Kyryuger footage for Power Rangers just does not look right. It kind of looks pretty sloppy. And also the way how the T-Rex threw the Ice Age monster off, that was something, you know, to say, you know, I mean, good thing at least the T-Rex didn't, like, stomp the monster with its feet or anything, but at least he knocked the T-Rex knocked the monster all the way into the air and in the way of saving him for the next episode. And then the episode ends with Tyler and Shelby engaging in a conversation with one another again, and also Tyler shows Shelby his book of treasures and stuff that was lended from his father, as Tyler must go on a quest as this season will go on, look for his father. And that's some really good what's that word? That conversation type word I'm looking for. Whatever. But anyway, this was a really good start to the season. I'm really inclined to see more of Power Rangers Dino Charge. I am really grateful that I hope that this will be the savior of the Neo Saban era once again. So this concludes my my first Dino Charge vlog. Stay tuned Friday when I release my vlog for episode 2, Past, Present, and Fusion, leading to this Saturday's coming episode. So thanks for watching my first vlog on Power Rangers Dino Charge. Be sure to subscribe for more of my Dino Charge vlogs, and I'll probably when I'm like pretty lazy right now, not doing a video, I'll probably do some of these Dino Charge vlogs every now and then, but I also have other set of Power Ranger reviews and vlogs to do, doing reviews and vlogs on past Power Ranger episodes. So be sure to subscribe for that. Thanks for watching.